Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Late Night Love Chat. This is your brother G Hightower coming in on this wonderful Saturday night, the 8th day of the 8th month. Yes, new beginnings, family. Yes, listen, I'm excited tonight because I'll share with you the good news a little bit later. But listen, we're delving into it tonight, and I want to pose the question as we jump out here tonight. Is romance dead? Man, listen. Most of you that follow me, if not all of you that follow me, you know I'm the one that believes in real love. Listen, and been through some hellacious relationships. I'm not sitting over here with a rosy background and a perfect scenario, beautiful wife, 6-bedroom house, 4 or 5 bathrooms, 6,000 square feet, pool and jacuzzi in the back with a white picket fence. That is not my situation currently. However, I do believe in it. Listen, I'm asking the question tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because the question is really all about what you believe in, because many of us are believing for love. We still believe in love, but I hear and see every single day a myriad of people that post, that write, that blog, that are writing articles and saying romance is dead. There were not one, but two articles in the same week, August 3rd and August 6th, from one publication, The Atlantic. And one writer from the publication, The Atlantic, said, romance, let me read it verbatim to you so that you all know. I mean, this was really, really awesome. And, one lady, she wrote, Fed Up with Romance is the title of her article from The Atlantic. And then 3 days later, another article was produced from that same exact publication, The Atlantic, and it says, The Great Romance Slump. In fact, one person produced a piece on YouTube and says that romance is dead. So I'm asking you all tonight. Jeff is in the building, my brother. Good to see you. I'm asking you all the question. What do you believe? Do you believe romance is dead? Do you believe that romantic relationships in North America, that we're in a slump? Are relationships something that we shouldn't seek to build anymore? Or should we all be, those of us who are single, should we all just be serial daters? Listen, I'm going to broach this topic tonight. Broach this topic tonight, I want to acknowledge my colleagues in the relationship space, those who are consultants and coaches and have been doing this for years, not just somebody just jumping on a social media platform because it's the popular thing to do, but those of us who have a calling for it, those of us who have a passion for it. I want to acknowledge them for those who are teaching relationships from a faith-based perspective. What we do here at Real Love Nation, family, we're all about building relationships, building healthy love relationships God's way. And so I want to really just share this tonight, family, as a thought. And let's just open it up for conversation, because you have a perspective, I have a perspective, and many others have other perspectives, right? So I don't want to condemn, criticize, or throw shade at anybody that has a perspective. I will jump out here and say this, that there is a teaching out there among relationship coaches that are encouraging women to date them all. Hey, keep dating multiple men until the right man shows up. I want to really delve into that tonight. And ladies, I really need your input. My brothers, please. I know many of you watch me and you're sitting in silence because many of you have told me via inbox, email, or text message, hey, Dr. G, man, I love what you do. I love watching you, but I don't comment because women, they'll criticize us and call us zesty and call us sassy. And I'm not going to be fighting no woman online. I get it, brothers. Real masculine men, we don't do that, right? It's okay to have healthy debates, but we're not going to have a whole lot of back and forth and a whole lot of, we're not going to do that. We're not going to have all that minutia going forth online, right? That's not what masculine men do. But I do want to invite you, brothers, to be a part of this conversation tonight. So please, you're welcome to be in the chat. You're welcome to comment. And I'm going to ask everybody that's watching, listening tonight, hit that share button, Let's go. Let's get some folks in here tonight. We got to help some people, y'all. So let's go. Let's get into it. Listen, before I start, make sure you shout out your city. who and not who you are. Of course, I know who you are, at least most of you that have a name. Uh, but shout out your city. Where are you tuning in from? Where are you tuning in from? I know my cousin is tuning in from the LBC, Long Beach. Blessings, cousin. I see you. Good to see you, cousin. I love you to life. I pray you are doing well. I owe you a phone call, cousin. I will call you tomorrow, okay? I'm going to call you tomorrow. So blessings to you, cousin. Shout out to Long Beach, the LBC in Southern California. All right. Let's see. Miss Shirla is tuning in from Dallas. All right. Miss Loretta's coming in from Fort Worth, Texas. All right. I see you. Lady Joyce coming in from Smyrna. All right. I see you. All right. Yes. My little sister Erica coming in from Cali. Hey, coming in from the desert. All right. Miss Karen is coming in from the ATL. Dr. Lisa's tuning in from Virginia. All right, good stuff. Terry is tuning in from Augusta, Georgia. All right. Dr. Annette is tuning in from Charleston, South Carolina. I love it, love it, love it. All right, my brother Jeff is tuning in from Portland, Oregon. Yes, shout out your city, Jeff. All right, Miss Inessa is tuning in from ATL. And Lady Yvonne, who is recently celebrated a birthday, tuning in from Decatur, Georgia. All right. Blessings on you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Welcome to Late Night Love Chat. And this is your brother G Hightower coming in on this wonderful Saturday night. Listen, here we go. Let's delve into it, shall we? So I want to pose this question. Miss Seeley is tuning in from Lafayette, Louisiana. All right, Miss Seeley, blessings on you. I see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in tonight. All right, so listen, let's delve into it tonight. And please, I want you all to give me your response, your honest response from the chat. All right, because here's what the data is showing. All right, and there's a myriad of different sites that do real accurate statistics. I don't believe in just throwing out numbers randomly, just so you can sound smart. I believe in actually studying and researching. My brother, Jeff Carlin, who's on here, Jeff has been a part of my online family for years. My brother, Jeff, has been a part of my family for at least maybe 8 to 10 years that we've been connected online, and we still owe each other breakfast at the Pancake House in Manhattan Beach. Praise God. We're going to do that, Jeff. We're going to do that. So Jeff is one of many that can vouch for me and tell you that, like, I'm serious about this business. Okay. I'm not just another talking head on social media. This is what I do. And later this month, I'll be celebrating 22 years that I've been serving as a pastoral counselor specializing in relationships. So I ain't new to this. I'm real true to this. I'm passionate about the mission that God has given me, which is building healthy relationships God's way. All right. Now, that said, let's get into it. What I'm seeing statistically across the board is more women are interested in developing a philosophy, a dating strategy, if you will, of dating multiple men simultaneously. Okay. What I've been hearing and what I've seen so many relationship coaches and consultants, they're literally saying these words, and I quote, date them all, sis. Date them all. Date them all until you find the right one, until the right one shows up. And again, I want to emphasize, thank you, my brother Jeff. Blessings, Jen. I see you. Good to see you. Blessings on you. I want to emphasize this tonight, and I'm not casting any aspersions on women. I just want to acknowledge what's going on. And then, ladies, you give me feedback, because oftentimes when we post, when we write, when we blog, when we're creating different literary pieces regarding relationships, somebody is staying in the crowd. Not me, Dr. G. I'm not that one, right? There's always that person. And so I want to acknowledge that person too. What I'm talking about, and whenever I talk about topics like this, I'm always talking from a perspective of having, again, studied, researched, and gathered data. And I always have to make sure that I state this. This is not for everyone. It is not applicable to everyone. I would not even say that it's applicable to most. I will say it is applicable to many. Okay. I've seen this dozens and dozens and dozens of times. And I personally know 3 relationship coaches, all with at least 10 years of experience under their belt, that they are teaching this philosophy, this dating strategy to the women. And they're telling women, date them all, sis. And so I personally know women that have a handyman that they're dating. They have a man who got that money, honey, who can just shoot them $300,000-$500,000 like it ain't nothing. There's the man who is the sexy guy that they really only want to have sex with. Okay, they want to have relations. And then there's the guy who's the good-looking suave, Rico Suave brother that they can go out to certain events, black tie affairs and wonderful dinners and things like that, so that when she goes out, she looks good because of the man standing by her side. And so they have that level of relationship. It's a service relationship. They're probably really just good friends on a platonic level. In her mind, she's thinking, oh, that's just my friend. Oh, yeah, James is just my friend. Ladies, I got to help y'all. Let me throw a real revelatory love nugget in here to start off tonight. All right. There's no healthy men who are single, who are only in your life, and he has no desire. If he's a healthy heterosexual man and he's single, and you're a good looking woman, there's no man who's just hanging out in your life because he just wants to be your friend. He really wants to be more than your friend. Okay. Please believe it. All right. Please believe it. Because ladies, you're thinking that James don't want nothing from you. You're thinking that. But James is like, shoot, I've been here for 12 years and I done seen her date Dave. I've seen her date Jeff. I've seen her, not my brother, Jeff Carlin. I've seen her date Dave. I've seen her date Jeff. I've seen her date, Kevin and all of them. And I was the one that she came to and put her head on my shoulder and cried and prayed for her and poured into her when she was going through. And I don't know why she don't see me. I'm sitting over here. Ladies, you all give me some love in the chat. Have you been a part of a man's life who only sees you as a friend, only sees you as a sister, and you all have a strong platonic relationship, but you wonder why he's looking past you at all them other that he's been dealing with in his life, when you know he hasn't had? Ladies, if I'm talking right, y'all throw an 8 in the chat. Yeah. Y'all throw an 8 in the chat. Throw an 8, throw an 8, throw an 8. Like, why is he looking past me and looking at all them other women? And he know them women ain't no good for him. And here I am, the one to rescue him. Here I am to pray for him. Here I am the one to push him. And here I am the one to encourage him, right? Throw an 8 in the chat, ladies. Throw an 8 in the chat if you've been that girl who's always there to be just basically the superwoman. You've been there to support. You've been there. Hey, Dr. CC, good to see you. Well, Dr. CC, not me. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. Brandy, all right. Miss Loretta, okay, good stuff. All right, good stuff. Terry, all right. Let's see. Miss Corlette, I see your comment. I'll address that comment. I think that's definitely noteworthy, but I'll let me come back to that. Let me get a little bit into the program here for tonight. All right. And I do agree with you, at least part of what you said. I do agree with part of what you said, that every relationship is not, trust me, I know that. I have plenty of women friends that I have safely put in the sister zone. What I'm talking about is a relationship where we have a mutual attraction for each other and we're going out together. All right. And maybe we haven't expressed that mutual attraction, but we're going out together. We're hanging out. We're going to the movies and all those kind of things. See, masculine men, we don't do a lot of that with a woman that we only just want to be friends with. Okay. Generally speaking, I'm not saying every single man on the planet. I'm not saying every single man in America. I'm saying, generally speaking, when we as masculine men invest time, energy, money, resources into a woman, we do that because we really desire to have more than just a platonic relationship. This is what I'm telling you, ladies. And it doesn't matter about the multitudinous men that you know that say, oh, no, not me, Dr. G. I know more men than you know. Yes, I do. Love you, mean it. Just like you know more women than I know, and you know more about women than I do. I know more about men than you do. Okay? Can we at least concede that? Hello? Hello? Can we at least concede that? All right. So I want to, as we delve into this topic tonight, I want to ask two questions and you all respond accordingly. The first question is this: if we do say that we believe in love and we do have marriage on our mind, marriage is a part of our ultimate vision, because marriage is not for everyone. Marriage is not everyone's ultimate goal. Some people are absolutely content in their singleness. And as I endeavor to do every single show, every time I'm on platform talking about relationships, I always want to commend and salute those of you who are single and content in your singleness and have no desire to be married. Those of you who are on your celibacy journey and you have no desire for relations, you are at peace in your life and you are absolutely content with going out and having fun, but not having any real romantic involvement. I salute you. I commend you for being on that journey. The mass majority of single people, the mass majority, are people who do desire marriage, or at the very least, they desire to have an intimate, romantic relationship with a person of the opposite sex. Now that we've set those parameters, let's ask the question. The question that I want to ask, the first question I want to ask tonight is, are we, let me see. Here's the first question I want to ask tonight. If everybody is, those of us who are single and are supposedly protecting our peace, and you haven't been in a dating or romantic relationship in 2 to 3 years, my question is, have your boundaries that you have set to protect your peace, is it possible? Now, please hear the question. Don't be defensive, because we're just having a discussion tonight. All right? As Cedric the Entertainer said in the movie Barbershop, the role played by Eddie, no, this ain't no hateration or no holleration in this dancery. This ain't nothing but healthy conversation. Eddie from Barbershop. All right, hold on, Calvin, hold on. This is just healthy conversation, okay? Can we talk in the barbershop? We can talk and say whatever we want to say in the barbershop. All right, now, that's it. Healthy conversation. And my first question tonight is, if you set those boundaries, you've been here in this place protecting your peace for the last 3 years, 5 years or more, is it possible that these boundaries have become blockages where you haven't even allowed an opportunity for real love to come your way? All right? That's my first question tonight. Have your boundaries become blockages? Because we have to ask the next question to ourselves, that if I've set boundaries and my boundaries are in place to protect my peace, are those boundaries also allowing a pathway to touch my heart? Is my heart even open for the possibility of having a loving relationship? All right? That's the question. Question number one. Thank you, Lady Felicia. Is it possible that your boundaries have become blockages? All right? That's the first question, Miss Karen. My second question is this: if the right woman, my brothers, ladies, my dear sisters, if the right gentleman showed up, and let's say for those of you who are astute enough to have at the very least a list of things that you desire in a husband, what character traits, personality types. Most of you have something about how he looks. And I would say 7 out of 10 of y'all have a height requirement. 7 out of 10 of y'all. Okay. Again, I ain't new to this. I'm real true to this. I've been doing this for a long time. All right. And for those of you who are perhaps not in the relationship space, all you got to do is look at the pop the balloon contest. And you can see how many women are like literally 5'3", 5'5", and looking at a man 5'11" or 6'1", and that little short woman will say, he's not tall enough for me. And even Arnetta will say, oh my God, he's towering over you. No, it looks like we're about the same height. And Arletta would be like, no, you're not. He's much taller than you. This has happened multiple times. So I know for sure, and again, this is my experience as well as my observation, 7 out of 10 women have a height requirement. Okay. Now, that said, my next question is, ladies, for those of you who are astute enough to at least have a list of things that you're looking for and believing God for in a husband, because a lot of women don't. A lot of women are just really certain about what they do not want in a relationship, but they're not as clear about what they do want in a relationship, in a marriage. That's facts. If the right man shows up, the ideal man for you, would you be ready tonight to allow that man to court you and for you all to start developing a relationship? Would you be ready tonight? Would you be like one of the 5 wise versions, not throwing any shade, not calling anybody foolish, not implying or insinuating somebody's foolish, but would you be like the 5 wise virgins who had plenty of oil in their lamps, and when the bridegroom came, they were ready to go away with the bridegroom because they had prepared themselves prior to. They were predestined to meet their potential purpose partner. And when he showed up, she was ready to go. They were on that Tiffany Haddish kind of energy. She ready. She was ready, hunty, to go on with the bridegroom. But there were 5 women who were unprepared. Would you, precious women of God, would you be ready to go? Please answer in the chat while I sip on my hot drink. Praise God. Oh, excuse me. It's a hot drink, not a drink, because you know there's a difference between a drink and a drink. This is a drink, hot drink. Praise the Lord. Don't want nobody over there thinking, oh, Dr. G over there sipping on a hot toddy with some Jamaican rum in it. I do not drink at all. All right. Let's see. My cousin Rhonda said, I guess. Cousin Rhonda, you already, now you know better than that. Listen, you got to get off the fence, hunty. Is you ready or is you ain't? Okay? There are no gray areas. There is no in-between zone. There is no place of ambivalence here. You're either ready or not ready. Okay? I need you to state in the affirmative or otherwise. All right? Either you're ready or not. And it's okay if you're not ready. No judgment. Listen, we're all works in progress, all of us. I wasn't ready for a couple of years after my divorce. I thought I was. As soon as it was final, I was like, yeah, I'm cool now. I'm straight. Nah. I had to sit my hot black self down somewhere, my happy black self, and get some counseling. Thank God for the man of God who poured into me for several months, weekly, counseling me, helping me to see the areas where I was broken, the areas where I thought I was okay and I wasn't okay. Thank God for my counselor. I appreciate him greatly. Glory be to God. So it takes time. Heart repair is serious work. Heart repair is serious work. And no matter how financially set you are, no matter how educated you are, no matter how accomplished you are, if you are not healed in your heart, then you're not ready for a relationship. You're still dealing with internal bleeding from an emotional perspective. And many of us, especially those of us who've grown up in the church, those of us who served in ministry for a long time in leadership, we've mastered the ability to operate in dysfunction. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Leading while still bleeding. Leading while still bleeding after mom, dad just died. Leading while still bleeding after we just lost our job and or lost our house. leading while still bleeding, while our children are dealing with very, very serious issues, and we need to take a sabbatical away from ministry so we can focus on our children. Most of us have mastered the ability to operate and function within dysfunction. We've mastered the ability to continue leading while bleeding, emotionally speaking. So a lot of us have never sat down and dealt with our issues. We've continued to go. So my question tonight is, for those of us who have done the soul work or those who have not done the soul work, if the right person shows up, would you be ready? Would you be ready? Okay, let's take some of these answers here. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, Miss Celie Adams said, no blockages, just wisdom guarding my peaceful heart for marriage. Okay, Miss Celie, that's cool. That's the position that most men and women are taking right now. My question is, if marriage is, and this is a rhetorical question, Miss Celie, but you're welcome to answer it if you like. The question is for everybody, and this is rhetorical. For those that say, I don't have any blockages, I'm just protecting my peace, I'm still guarding my heart. Actually, the Bible, ladies and gentlemen, in the book of Proverbs doesn't tell us to guard our heart. The Bible tells us to keep our heart with all diligence. There's a difference. There's that guard again. There's that blockage again. There's a significant difference between keeping your heart and guarding your heart. Having served in government security, having served in law enforcement, I can tell you that when you have a guard, that is something that is standing there to protect and to defend against someone trying to enter. That's a guard, guarding your heart. Keeping your heart means that my heart is open and available, but only accessible to the right person. So my question, and again, this is rhetorical, Celie, but you're welcome to answer it, and any of you are welcome to answer the question. If you say that I'm guarding my peaceful heart and I'm preparing myself for marriage, my next question would be, what steps are you taking to position yourself for a relationship that leads toward marriage? Or are you just in this place of waiting until the right man shows up? Many of you ladies, listen, I love you, but this is my observation over many, 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 many years. Many of you ladies are on what I call the holy hamster wheel. Work, church, and home. Work, church, and home. Work, church, and home. Work, church, take my kids here, bring my grandkids over, and then back home. I'm going to share. I didn't plan on sharing this tonight, but I will share for the sake of this session. There's a lady who's been a part of my program since late last year. Beautiful woman of God. She was a 48-year young virgin. Never been sexually intimate with a man, ever. Master's degree, educator. Absolutely beautiful woman of God. She joined Ready to Love Again, my program, my relationship development program. She joined late last year. And so I've been coaching her throughout this year. She got really, really involved like around, I would say, springtime. She got really, really involved and she devoted herself to it, jumped in full. Beautiful woman of God. At her church, she served faithfully in ministry. Her pastor put her over the younger women, and the younger women just, follow her and look up to her with great reverence. That precious woman of God recently passed away and just had her homegoing service at the age of 48. Just had her homegoing service this past week. My heart was broken. I received a call from her family, and they told me I met a couple of her nephews. Of course, she had no children. Again, she was a virgin. And I was coaching her and helping her to get ready, get relationship ready, and help her prepare, because at the time when she entered my coaching program, she had not dated anyone for 5 years. And she kept putting it off as she went back to get this degree, kept putting it off as she went to get that certification, kept putting it off as she continued to serve in ministry and just completely be ensconced with the church. But when she really got serious and said, you know what, I really do want to be married. And I'm okay with not having children because I got plenty of kids. I got my nephews, I got my nieces, I got all the young girls and young women at the church who are all like little sisters or daughters to me. But at 48, she went home to be with the Lord. There was a rare form of cancer that she had and apparently had for years. When she started having some pain, she went to go get a checkup. And ladies and gentlemen, we all know of someone, maybe a family member, that they went to the hospital and they never came out of the hospital, right? And that was her story. She was in a hospital for a month. By week number 3, she had slipped into a coma and she passed away. And so I do want to share tonight that, ladies, I don't want you to put off and keep putting off and keep putting off and keep putting off. Because some of you said in 2020, this is going to be my year. Well, that was the year of the pandemic. So ain't none of us was really going out dating. Not many of us anyway, right? But 2021 came, 2022 came, 23, 24, 25, and now we're in 2026. And many of you precious women of God who are absolutely beautiful, anointed, brilliant, talented, but many of you haven't even been on a date still. Or if you have been on a date, you haven't had a healthy relationship experience. Listen, I want to be of service to you tonight. I don't want this to be a whole nother year that goes by and you're not at least at the place mentally or emotionally where you are at least open and preparing yourself and positioning yourself, not going to the same places where you've always been going, but positioning yourself intentionally in spaces where good single men hang out. I have that for you. I can help you with that. Okay? Because a lot of y'all keep going to the same place, and some of you have this hope deep on the inside of you that God is going to send your husband to knock at your door one day, or God is going to send your husband and he's going to come to your church and y'all going to meet and it's going to be a wonderful, magical Disneyland experience, or that somehow at Costco, Sam's Club, Home Depot, or Lowe's that you're going to be walking down the aisle and ta-da, and the angels are going to be singing, oh, and it's just going to be this wonderful divine experience where you're going to be finally found by the one. Could that happen? Yes, it can. Is it likely? No, it's not. It's highly unlikely that scenario, that either of those scenarios would happen. Ladies, you have to intentionally get out to position yourselves to be found. I know the women of the church and your pastor and them have told you women don't have to do anything. The devil is a liar and his cousins. Go to every scripture in the Bible where you saw women being found by good men. They positioned themselves to be found. Abigail positioned herself. And she was married at the time, but she positioned herself to speak life and destiny into the man who would become king over Judah and Israel, David. And when her husband died just 2 or 3 weeks later, boom, David sent for her and Abigail becomes queen. Esther had to relocate in order to be found by the king over the land of Shushan. Come on. Ruth had to be found serving faithfully in a field. Come on. This whole notion of women don't have to do anything. The right God will just send the right man, and you still single, boo. Allow me to serve you. Don't let 2026 be another year that you sit up and be single and you still haven't been on a date yet. You haven't even had conversations with a wonderful gentleman. Listen, tonight is the last night. I'm making this class available. I told you I would make it available all the way to this weekend. Today is the 8th day of the 8th month, and tonight is the last night. All right? I've taken $200 off this crash course coaching program Ready to Love Again, a program that's specifically designed to bring men and women together for real love relationships. I'm already coaching 2 men. I've only got 4 women that have signed up for the class so far. Now, here's the blessing tonight. Here's the blessing. On this 8th day of the 8th month, there's one of the precious women that are a part of my online family, and she's hit me up tonight, and she says, Dr. G, I want to sponsor one of the sisters who can't afford to register for the class. Now, she gave me specific parameters, specific criteria for the person that she wants to sponsor, and I am going to honor her for that. Now, here's what I'm going to do as well. For 2 women who cannot afford, again, who cannot afford, you ain't have no cheddar to make your life a little better. Now, don't tell me you won't have no cheddar, but I can go to your page right now and you've been at cotton picking, Roof Chris. You've been at, Flanagan's. You got pictures on there with a king lobster and a tomahawk steak. Don't tell me you can't afford $97 to make your life better. All right. But listen, because my dear sister said that she's going to sponsor one lady from my online family here who can't afford to partake in this wonderful opportunity, I'm going to bless 2 women. So there's a total of 3 women that are going to be blessed. All right. Now, don't inbox me. I'm not going to respond to an inbox. I'm very specific. Whenever I give instructions, I expect the instructions to be followed. If you can't follow the instructions, I already know you're not going to be a good student for me to coach because you don't read and you don't listen. All right. I made a post today. I said, red heart, yellow heart, blue heart. Yes, maybe, or no regarding love. And several people didn't even respond in the way. They wrote a whole paragraph. Yeah, well, I do kind of believe because Pastor G, see what had happened. Back in 2006, I went through a situation, and ever since then, I still kind of believe, but hold on. Excuse me, Stella, bring me my juice over here. Anyway, what I was saying, Pastor G, wrote a whole paragraph in the comment section. Boo. I only asked red heart, yes, yellow heart, maybe, blue heart, no, if you still believe that real love is possible. And several people, it's like I didn't even say anything. They're writing all these comments. You gotta listen. You gotta read. Now, if you want to be a part of this program and you are a woman who is on the other side of 50, send me an email. Send me an email, Dr. G at readytoloveagain.com. That's DRG at readytoloveagain.com. Again, DRG. Don't put Dr. G, it won't get to me. DRG at readytoloveagain.com. Send me that email. Let me know that you want to be a part of the coaching and just put 2 words in the email. You can write me a little something, but please don't write me a dissertation. I won't read it. I love you, but I won't read it. I'm busy. I had time to read all that. Just put me a little blurb, a little something in there about yourself, okay? And then just let me know you want to be a part of relationship coaching, okay? All right. Hamburger, Lady du jour. I don't know why people be sending me through all this. They be sending me through the Levi's 501 Blues. Praise God. All right. I'm going to drop one love nugget here, and then I want to address some comments because Miss Corlette has given me some wonderful commentary that I want to honor her for her commentary. And for those of you that have a comment or question, feel free to drop that in the chat as well. Okay. Here's what I want to get into tonight. Okay. I want to let you know this. Because a lot of us say, oh my God, the dating pool has pee, feces, and nuclear waste in it. If you keep on saying that, that's what you're going to keep on experiencing. The reason why you haven't had any opportunities is because of what you are speaking most often out of your mouth. Jesus gives us a principle, and it doesn't matter how you feel about it. It's all a matter of what Jesus said about it. And Jesus said, out of the abundance of the things in your heart, your mouth will speak. And then he says at the conclusion of Mark 11:23, you shall have whatsoever you saith. So whatever is in your heart is what's going to come out of your mouth. And whatever you are speaking most often out of your mouth is what's going to manifest in your life. Okay. See how those kingdom principles tie in together? Okay. So whatever you're currently experiencing on a consistent basis, a significant part of that is because of what you are speaking most often. Conversely, I have some of my beautiful sisters who have had wonderful dates and wonderful experiences. And one of the ladies, and I won't mention it yet because she hasn't released me yet, one of the ladies who was in my class from 2024, the same class that Bishop Joyce Lewis was in, who was 71 years old at the time, and she's happily married today. One of the other ladies who was in that class in 2024, who went through the entire 6-month course, she got married today. Matter of fact, she got married tonight, 8/8 at 8:08 p.m. I'll be hosting her and her new husband coming up soon right here on the Late Night Love Chat. Okay. But she wanted me to hold that. I will be talking about it, and she'll be featured in our newsletter, The Real Love Review, have pictures of her and her husband. And she's a wonderful woman of God, and I'm so proud of her. And she specifically says, she says, Dr. G, because of your teaching, it changed my mindset. Because of your teaching, I let go of some fears. Because of your teaching, I opened my heart up and allowed a man to lead me, even though I'm always used to leading everything myself. I'm used to being in control. I'm used to running things. But I had a man that came into my life, and I allowed him to lead me. And she got married tonight. Glory be to God. All right, y'all. Let's see. Is your email with a number or letters for two? I'll put it up again. I'm not sure I understood the question, but let me put it up again. My email address again, woman of God, is drg@ready. Oh, that's what you're saying too. Yeah. No, it's not the number two. It's the letters two. Thank you. That's a good question, actually. Ready2loveagain.com. Yeah, that's a very good question, actually, because I actually had, when I first started this 4 years ago, I actually did have ready the number two love again. So no, it's spelled all the way out. Ready to love again. That's TO loveagain.com. Ready the letter two, the letters two, TO loveagain.com. That's my email address. Okay. All right. So here's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, as I close, and I'm going to open up the chat. I'm going to take Miss Corlette and several others of you that has some wonderful comments. I want to address those. And anyone that has a question, I want you to drop your questions in the chat as well. Here's the bottom line. Romance is not dying. Real love is not dying. Okay. It's only dying to those who keep speaking death over their love life. I'm going to say that again. It's going to be life changing for somebody. Romance is only dead. Real love is only dead to those who keep speaking death over their love life. Death and life are in the power of your tongue. And those that love it shall eat the fruit of it. Proverbs 18:21. No, romance isn't dying. Romance is on the decline, however, because many of us, as several of you commented tonight, many of us have become more accustomed to protecting our heart instead of preparing our heart. We become more guarded about our heart than opening our heart for opportunities to love. We've been holding ourselves back in giving. The first act that a person must do to build the bond of real love is giving. not showing up waiting to be given to, but giving. Hello? That's how relationships are built, because healthy relationships are reciprocal. You can't be in the place of receiving. I'm waiting on somebody to give me. I'm waiting on somebody to find me. I'm waiting on somebody to choose me. I'm waiting on somebody to do something for me. It's giving. That's again how Abigail showed up and got blessed to be a wife, because she came into David's life giving. Many of us, men and women, we're both guilty. We have given so much of ourselves to the wrong person that now we shut our hearts down. We have gone into guarding our heart instead of just being in the mode of keeping our heart. We've got into a mode of guarding our heart. So now our hearts are not even open to the possibility of love, because we gave so much to the wrong person. We gave so much in the wrong marriage. We gave so much in all of these other relationships that we've had. And now here's a God ordained relationship into our life, or the potential of having a God ordained relationship. And we've shut ourselves off from loving that person and giving to that person and helping that person and building something real with that person. We shut ourselves off because we are so busy protecting ourselves from the soul wounds of rejection, betrayal, and abandonment. And many of us are so guarded that our so-called barriers have become blockages. Your heart has to be open if real love is going to ever be a part of your life. Don't be the person who is so deeply guarded that you end up just being alone for the rest of your life. Is there anybody here that is okay with being alone for the rest of your life? Not me. I'm single and alone right now, but I'm not single and alone forever. I am a husband, okay? I am a husband, and I'm looking forward to sharing my life with a beautiful woman of God. All right, let's delve into the questions. I'm going to take the commentary from Miss Corlette first, because she wrote some wonderful commentary earlier, so I want to acknowledge that. Again, you all are welcome to share your comments or questions in the chat. Miss Corlette, her question is, why should we have to settle? I don't think not one single time in this broadcast did I mention, imply, or insinuate settling. That is not what Coach G. Hightower does. Corlette said, why should we have to settle? We are not attracted to someone. They don't measure up to anything. They can have a few dollars, but we feel nothing towards them. But we expect it to just hook up. No. Yes, of course I am ready. I'm good. But I need someone with the bells and whistles like me. Okay, Miss Corlette. I know we're not familiar with each other, but again, what I do, I don't ever, never, ever suggest for anybody to settle. All right. In fact, I had a controversial teaching that came out 10 years ago. And what I posted and what I wrote in that blog, in that article, I said, we should not compromise in relationships and marriage. And people went crazy. People called me a heretic and all kind of nasty names. Yeah, from that time, I started learning that I have to stay out of the comments when people are saying stuff about me online. But I said, no such thing as compromise in a healthy exchange. Because by definition, to compromise means, Corlette, ladies, gentlemen, that I have to lower my standards in order to accommodate you and your requests or demands. So no, I believe that because healthy relationships are reciprocal, that we make adjustments, changes, and sacrifices for one another. Adjustments, changes, and sacrifices, but not compromise. I'm not going to forfeit something that I need in order to accommodate your need. Okay? That's not what I'm going to do. But I will gladly, for the woman that I love, the woman that I'm invested in, I will gladly make changes for her. I will gladly make adjustments for her. I will gladly make sacrifices for her because that's the love of Christ, right? And we as men, we are instructed, especially once we are moving in relationship towards marriage. And brothers, we have to do this before marriage, not after marriage begins. We do this before marriage as we are building a relationship that's going to become a covenant relationship. We have to demonstrate our willingness and our ability to love her as Christ loved the church. The Bible goes on in that next verse in Ephesians 5, who loved her and gave himself for her. We have to do that, brothers. We have to show up and do that before marriage. Nobody's going to wait around and see, does he have the ability to provide? Does he have the ability to protect me? Is he willing to love me sacrificially? That has to be demonstrated beforehand, right? Brothers, just like we need her to show us. She has to demonstrate wifely abilities prior to marriage. I'm not about to marry you, and I don't get to see anything of your wifely abilities, of your desire to love and support me until marriage. You're not going to support me in anything? Oh, no, I ain't supporting no man until I see. What? Girl, please. You kidding? No, I ain't coming to your preaching engagement. I don't do that. I ain't your wife. I ain't your wife yet. Okay, Hunter, you ain't going to never be mine. If you don't have the ability or the willingness to demonstrate your desire to support what God has called me to do, then how can I see us in the bond of oneness if I don't see that happening while we're courting? That has to be demonstrated beforehand, not afterward. All right. So, Corlette, specifically to your question, you said, I am ready, but I am not encouraging you to settle, woman of God. And of course, if there's somebody that you don't feel any attraction to, that's fine, totally fine. But I would invite you, Corlette, to be a part of my coaching program so that you can have the opportunity to connect with someone that you would be attracted to. Okay. So I would invite you to be a part of that. And Corlette, if you will, just send me an email. Let's chop it up. Let's have some conversation so I can understand a little bit better of where you are in your life and what you may be looking for, because I may have a wonderful gentleman who's in my men's private coaching program who just might be the man who's a good fit for you. You never know. So send me an email, Corlette, Dr. G at readytoloveagain.com. All right. Thank you for that great comment, question. Let's see. The next one. My cousin Rhonda says, I've been celibate so long. Sell a bit. Whew, that's a Hightower for you, boy. I'm just set in my ways. And I just guess if he's big and black, I might be fine. If he's just big and black. Of course, he got to be saved, too, to date my cousin. Cousin, you and I have had at-length conversations about that. And obviously, we're overdue for another conversation like that. So you and I will have a private offline conversation about that. Yeah. I got to handle my cousin differently, Lord. She different. She loves God, beautiful and anointed, but she a little different. Miss Jim, she says, no blockage, just dealing with the same demon that keeps coming back around in different men. Oh, my God. My heart is not closed off to love. My heart is open to love. Would I be ready? I believe so, because I feel it would be so exciting to finally meet the right man. Okay, let's talk about the demon that keeps coming back. Ladies, this is for all of us. Gentlemen, this is for all of us. I've talked about this, written about this before. I'm going to take 2 minutes and teach on it. Every single time you are at a point in your life where God is you're in the process of what I call the preparation for elevation, preparation for manifestation. Every single time and at every single stage and level of your life, when you are ready to elevate, when you are positioning yourself for manifestation, the enemy is going to send someone who is familiar to you. There's going to be a blast from the past that's going to come out and try to rob you of your future. The enemy will send a distraction in your life. Now watch this. He or she may not be someone that you know, but to Jim's point, It will be someone who is familiar to you, who is like the person of your past. Different name, different face, different time, different place, but it's the same person. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Wave your hand in the audience if you know what I'm talking about, right? It's a familiar spirit. And the enemy loves to send the spirit of familiarity, a familiar spirit toward us. Why? Because in our humanness, we don't like change. Many of us, and this is why many of us have been single 3, 5, 10 years or more, because we are stuck and stagnant and complacent in our comfort. And the soul craves comfort and convenience. The soul, our mind, will, and our emotions, craves familiarity. Because in order to step out by faith, a part of me has to die. I have to die to old things. I have to die to old ways of thinking. I have to die to the spirit of fear. And most of us ain't trying to die. But in order for me to take on what's new, I have to let go of what's old. I must let go of lesser things in order to obtain greater things. The Bible tells us, great men and women of God, in Isaiah 43, remember not the former things, and do not even consider the things of old. Behold, I shall do a new thing for you. Shall you not know it? Shall you not recognize it? This is what God speaks to us in Isaiah 43. A failure to recognize a new life and a whole new set of blessings that God is ready to release unto us. But in order for us to walk into the new, we have to forget about those things that are behind us. And God says, don't even consider the things of old. So now, from a relationship perspective, that means that my heart has to be healed of the old in order to be prepared to receive the new. I'm not ready to receive what's new until I've released and been healed, or at the very least, ladies and gentlemen, that at least I've begun my healing journey. I may not be fully healed, but at least I've begun my healing journey. I have let go of what's old. I have deleted them from my phone. I have gotten rid of a lot of the trinkets that they gave me, gifts and things that would remind me of him, that would remind me of her. I've deleted pictures out of my phone. I blocked them on my phone. I blocked them on social media because many of us, we still have a soul tie with our ex. We don't want to admit it, especially because many of us, we think, albeit erroneously, we think that a soul tie is related to sex. And you think just because you haven't had sex with him or her in a long time, and we've been broke up or we've been divorced for years, you think that the soul tie is gone. A soul tie has to be healed. Because contrary to popular belief, time does not heal all wounds. So just because you haven't been with that person in a long time doesn't mean that the soul tie is gone. It's still there. And it's going to pop up at the most inopportune time. You won't really realize it until someone new comes into your life. And then your heart is still being tugged and pulled by that person of your past. Real stuff. So you got to block them on social media, because if not, they will be hovering over your pages, or you, being a social media stalker, you'll be hovering over their pages. Wonder what they doing. Is she with some, y'all real cool with it. Y'all swift with it too. Y'all will make fake pages up, a whole different alias, a whole different name, whole different face, and be stalking their page. Because maybe they block you. Y'all ain't slick. God is watching it all. You might be fooling your friends, and you might be even fooling yourself, but you ain't fooling God. Woo, my God in heaven. So what do we do with the same demon that keeps coming back around in different men? Well, you have to denounce every connection, every intimate connection, every intimate interaction. Again, this does not have to be sexual. In fact, it doesn't have to be physical at all. You may not have ever been in this person's presence physically. A soul tie, again, the soul consists of a mind, will, and emotion. If you had long conversations, if you've had intimate connections, if you look at each other, FaceTime, Zoom, all of those wonderful connections, the conversations, the texting and the sexting and the flirtatiousness and all of those things build a bond called a soul tie. Now, I know a lot of preachers say, there ain't no such thing as soul ties. Don't listen to these crazy preachers. A lot of them they've been married since the 80s or 90s. They ain't been in no dating relationships. They don't know the stuff that we as single people go through in the 21st century. Please don't listen to them. Please don't listen to them. They don't know what it's like out here in these dating streets. They don't know what it's like to be single in the 21st century. And I'm really not saying that to condemn them, but a lot of them that have written against me, written about me, and some have written about me and done a whole broadcast on me, but without mentioning my name. Come on, there's only three major people out here with a significant following who's been teaching on soul ties for years, and that's Bishop R.C. Blakes, myself, and Pastor Kim, better known as Real Talk Kim. We're the only three people that have consistently been teaching about soul ties for at least 10 to 12 years or more. Okay. That's it. So you have to make sure that you break those bonds, break every chain, break every connecting point. And again, you may have to get rid of some gifts. Some of you ladies are still wearing diamond rings and other jewelry items that your ex bought you. Some of y'all ladies, as it is reflected in my post that I made 2 days ago, some of you still wear that wedding band from your ex on your wedding finger. It's impossible, ladies, for God to send the right man who's going to find you. It's virtually impossible for that man to find you, approach you, and want to build relationship with you if you are still wearing your wedding band on your wedding finger. I do respect some of you have said, well, Dr. G, I wear it in honor of my former husband who passed away. So from an emotional standpoint, I totally understand that. And so for some of you have actually shared that and spoken that to me, either privately or shared it publicly. I understand that. And so you have basically said, I'm just not emotionally ready to avail myself to a gentleman yet. I get it. But for those of you ladies who you say you are ready, as Miss Corlette has shared, as Jen has shared, and many others of you have shared on this broadcast tonight, if you are ready, take that wedding band off your finger and stop expecting God to give this man supernatural discernment to help to look past your wedding ring on your wedding hand, and that God is going to supernaturally reveal, my son, my daughter is actually unmarried. Ask her anyway. You know, man. Listen, there are some men who will inquire anyway. The mass majority of us men with godly character who would never talk to another man's wife, we ain't about to pull up on you, boo, and ask you anything if you have a wedding band on your hand. Okay? Love you, mean it. All right? Miss Jen, because you're in my coaching program, we'll deal with some of the other items that you've written here, that you shared here tonight. Since you're already in my coaching program, we'll deal with that. But I hope that little piece that I shared with you is helpful. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to take two more tonight. Let's see. So Miss Corlette said, women do education and work because quality men don't step up. Wow. Okay, so first, I'm always careful, and I endeavor to always be careful not to make blanket statements. So, Lady Corlette, I encourage you, ladies, I encourage you, gentlemen, I encourage you, y'all stop making blanket statements, because when you make a monolithic statement such as all men this, all women that, men don't do this, women don't do that, when you make blanket monolithic statements like that as if any group on the planet is monolithic when it's not true. When you make statements like that, again, you are framing your world by the power of your words. The reality is, quality men do step up. The question is that I would ask you, Corlette, and that I would ask any of the women, have y'all honestly never overlooked a good guy, but you weren't attracted to him? He was corny. He was this, he was that. Because I had a well-known woman of God whose name I won't mention, because as a gentleman, I'm always going to protect a woman, even if she ain't my woman. But that's how my mom and dad raised me, to protect women. I had a well-known woman of God told me that I didn't have enough swag for her. And in the situation, she just needed my help with something. And she thought that I was trying to build something romantically with her. I was attracted to her, yes, but I wasn't trying to build anything. I just told her, hey, I'll be glad to help you with that since you made that publicly known. And I saw nobody responded. Has anybody responded yet? No, nobody's responded yet. I said, well, I'll be glad to help you. How much you going to charge me? I wouldn't charge you anything. Hear her words, and I quote, Dr. G, I like you, but you ain't got enough swag for me. So my question to you, Corlette, and to all you beautiful sisters, you mean to tell me there's no quality gentleman who has never, all caps, never approached, offered help, approached, asked you out on a date? Or have you not been asked by the man that you are attracted to? The type of men that you would like to have. Those men haven't stepped up. Because what y'all not going to do is blame my God and tell me that my God has never sent any quality men your way. That's what you ain't going to do. Not unless you live on Gilligan's Island. All right, let's move on. Let me see. Let's see. I don't see any other questions. Okay, my cousin Rhonda has another question. What you're supposed to do? What you're supposed to do when you've given your heart to the right man most of your life and he dies? No, you don't want to be by yourself forever, but you keep looking for him in another man. That's a legitimate question, cousin Rhonda. My response to that is don't look for that wonderful man in any other man. That man was that man, and that was your experience with that man. You just want to open your heart and be prepared for a good man. What if God sends you a man who's even better than that man you were once in love with? Because one of my dear brothers, who's a pastor, was married to a phenomenal woman. And all three of his adult children are by that woman. He was married to her for 28 years before she passed away. God simply sent him another wife after his first wife passed away. 2 years later, he marries her and then has twin sons with her. Yeah. And he is a totally different person with this woman compared to his first wife. He's a whole different person. He even took up photography. He always wanted to do photography. But his first wife always said, baby, you can't be no photographer and a pastor. What that look like? Because you got Tuesday men's meeting, you got Wednesday Bible study, you got church, 3 services on Sunday. You can't do that. She always discouraged him. Now, these are his words, not mine. He said that she always discouraged him from being a photographer. When he got married again, his new wife encouraged him to take photography. Guess what? The man took photography and God opened up a door. Do you know that he has become a photographer at celebrity events and sports events? He has credentials. So he gets to go in to NBA games, NFL games, and major concerts. And he's a credentialed photographer, something that his first wife never encouraged him to do. I say that, ladies and gentlemen, to say this. Who knows? God may send you an even better partner the second time around. Shout out to Shalimar. Shalimar said the second time around is always better than the first time. That was my granddaddy's favorite song. Y'all don't even know nothing about that. That was when music was still playing on 45 records. Woo, my God. Let's see. Let's see. Miss Karen. Miss Karen said, what about for a woman who desires to be married but can never get to the altar due to the spoken word curses and witchcraft? Miss Karen, that is a totally powerful question. And thank you for having the courage to ask that question. I would invite you, because there's no short answer to that question. However, I do have answers and I do have some scriptures that I would love to help you with. Ladies and gentlemen, any one of you that is dealing with witchcraft, word curses, or if you're even dealing with the spirit of fear that has gripped you because of some past abuse, whether it was verbal abuse, physical abuse, or sexual abuse, please, please, please email me. Please reach out to me. All right. If you're dealing with that kind of issue, I will even give you a complimentary discovery call. Okay. Now, that's not a full fledged session, but at least I can talk to you for a few minutes and pray with you and then give you some tools that will help you get on the path toward deliverance and breakthrough. Okay. Send me an email, drg at readytoloveagain.com. That's Dr. G at readytoloveagain.com. Send me an email. Please let me know your situation. And I promise you in Jesus' name, I will avail myself to help you however I can. And if I can't help you, I've got a plethora of people within my personal network, psychologists, psychotherapists, and a bunch of anointed ministers who can help you get a breakthrough. Okay. Both men and women that can help you get a breakthrough. Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Karen. I'm sorry I cannot answer that question the way it deserves in this setting. But if you write me, Karen, if you send me an email, I will respond to that. Okay. I'll be glad to be a blessing to you, my dear. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm going to close out for tonight. But again, thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you greatly. And you have all the tools. Again, this is the last day for you to take advantage of my program. There it is. It's $97. It's a transformational coaching. Again, the value of this is $297. I've taken $200 off and made this $97. Okay. Now, you can, if you want to sign up right now and take advantage, because this is the last day, y'all, it ain't going to be available tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow's price is not going to be today's price. Okay. Somebody will say, wait till Sunday. I get my check on the Sunday. Don't nobody get their check on a Sunday unless you're getting a physical check in your hand by you going to work on a Sunday. But I've made this available for this whole week. Actually, almost 2 weeks. I've made this available. So, boom, you can go and you can register. If you don't have Venmo or Cash App, you can just, boom, send me an email, say, hey, Dr. G, can I get your Zelle? And we can do that. Okay, I don't put my Zelle out there because I've been hacked and I just have some kind of feeling about Zelle. When you've been hacked and have money taken out of your account that took you months to recover, it's like, man, I'm not too cool about putting Zelle out there like that in a public space. But boom, Cash App and Venmo, GTH Global, the number 7. That's GTH Global, the number 7. You can go to either one of those And it's only $97, y'all. Now, again, I'm blessing 3 ladies. And again, I'm going to say this before we close out tonight. One of the precious women of God is in the Ready to Love Again group. Make sure you go to my Facebook page, Ready to Love Again. That's our group page over there. Make sure you go there and join the family. Okay. One of the ladies from that group says, Dr. G, I want to be a blessing to one of the ladies from the community who's over the age of 50, but can't afford the $97 coaching package. All right. So there's not only one lady that's going to be blessed, but I told her, since you're blessing one lady, I'm going to bless 2. So we're going to bless 3 ladies tonight. So if you are one of those that wants to be a part of this transformational relationship coaching, but you don't have the $97, now I ain't talking, listen, don't y'all try to play me, all right? Because if you playing me, you playing God, all right? I'm not God, but I'm being a blessing as a servant of God. And if you're taking advantage of me, you're taking advantage of God's kindness, okay? Because God put it on my heart, and God put it on this beautiful woman of God's heart to be a blessing to one of y'all who are over the age of 50 but cannot afford the $97 at this time. So I'm going to bless 2 other women who don't have the $97 at this time. Again, this coaching package is worth $300, y'all, $297 normally, this transformational group coaching. Okay. So boom. There you go. Those that want to jump in, bam, there's how you can do it. Send me an email as well if you have Zelle and you don't have Cash App or Venmo or Stripe. Boom. There you go. GTH Global, the number 7. That's GTH Global, the number 7. And then, of course, you can email me as well. All right. I love you. Abundant blessings to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will come back tomorrow night. Let's see. One of my sisters said, oh my, get rid of the gifts and old pictures. I thought I was healed. Yeah, the gifts and all the pictures that we keep in our phones and that we keep all over our house, those are connecting points that are keeping our soul tied to that ex. Again, remember, the soul tie consists of our mind, our will, and our emotions. Doesn't matter that we haven't been in their presence physically. Doesn't matter that we haven't had sex with them. It's still a connection emotionally. All right. All right. I love you, family. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you come back for the late night love chat. God bless.